Hello and welcome to day 4 of this 5-day challenge. Can you believe we're already over halfway through? We are scratching the surface. We're really starting to get to grips with what some of these concepts are and how it is we can apply them and start to trade not only safely but also profitably in them. Today we are going to be looking at strategy optimization. So the next part of the process of star trading's methodology is optimization. How do we optimize what it is that we are doing? How do we have even lower risk and even higher returns? So we've got a few things to talk about today. So on today's agenda, we're going to be looking at what can you achieve with your trading. We're going to be looking at lower risk, higher reward, how we make that happen. I might even share with you how it is you can have zero risk trades but still be profitable. We're going to be looking at the 8th wonder of the world according to Albert Einstein, the genius that was. He called this thing which I'm about to share with you the 8th wonder of the world. Some of you, when I say that, already know what I'm talking about, so you should be getting excited already. If you don't know what that is, then I'm about to absolutely blow your mind. We're going to be looking at how you can rocket fuel the account growth that you are looking for. There's a couple of ways in which we do that within Star Trading's method. I'm going to be sharing both of those ways with you today, and then talk about how it is this process using this 8th wonder of the world is going to allow you to leave generational wealth, not just make yourself wealthy, but also make your family wealthy for generations to come if you like the sound of that. Now, I have shown you this picture before, so I'm hoping that you remember it. This is my favorite trading day, not because I made over 6% in just one day, not because I was trading markets as they go up and they go down. Remember, you want to be a bi-directional trader. But the reason I'm showing you this slide again is because I want you to remember that this was the day I realized I was financially free, financially independent, financially peaceful. I didn't have to rely on anybody else to generate me that income which I then live off of. True financial freedom. And it didn't happen overnight. So I want to show you this again to remind you that this is a process. We do not get rich overnight. This is not a get rich quick scheme. Yes, you can get rich fairly quickly, but it's not a get rich quick scheme. You're not going to become super duper wealthy overnight or in the space of just 1 week. We build up to it methodically, systematically, and strategically to allow you to develop the skills you need, the emotional management that you need, which we'll be talking about in the next session, to make sure that you can handle the levels of money that it takes to create the lifestyle that you want. And for every single person, that is slightly different. So if you haven't seen my YouTube channel yet, it's called Lewis Crompton, Not Financial Advice. And we have a video on there. One of our favorite videos from our subscribers is a video about how you define success. It's really, really important you define it for you, because what success looks like for you is very different what it looks like for me, what it looks like from somebody else. Which is why in Star Trading, we're really, really focused on making sure, and we constantly remind our students, do not compare yourself to other people within the community. Just because it looks like someone is going great guns, they're making really, really fast progress, fantastic. Their situation is different to yours. The point is to not judge yourself or judge them, but the point is to identify what your success looks like and then the steps you need to take in order to get there, whether that's additional support, whether that's putting more time into learning the basics and just really mastering those basics. It does look different for every single person. Trading is not a one-size-fits-all model, which is why we cap our mentorships. We make sure we have a small number of mentorships going at the same time, because we want to make sure we're giving you the right level of feedback, the right level of support that you need. And we can't do that if we take every single person that wants to come on our mentorship. So we have no problem saying no to people if we don't feel like they pass what we call the vibe check. So yes, I just showed you this image again to remind you that it doesn't happen overnight, but we can get you there very, very quickly. You should be trading live if you're following our methodology within a month, 2 months, something like that. And then once you've mastered the basics, once you've mastered strategy number 1, then we're going to pick up those other strategies even quicker. So on a 6-month program with us, you should be trading all of our strategies live and profitably, and we're going to be helping you optimize those results as well. And the reason why we say define your success is because you may get to the point where you're trading live and successfully, and you may decide actually you don't want to worry too much about optimizing. You're happy with the results. You've reached the level of success that you want, and that's brilliant. So then optimization may look a little bit different. It may be about not making more money, but it may be about reducing the time input to make the money that you are currently making. So Let me know, which one do you really want to focus on? When you get to that point of trading live and profitably, would you want to focus on spending even less time making the money, or do you want to focus on making even more money? You can let me know in the comments. So just a quick reminder of the star trading method and what we're looking at over this course. So number 1 is chart mastery. Number 2 is money mastery, risk mastery, making sure we're protecting our capital. Number 3 is strategy mastery, which we looked at in the previous session. Number 4 is mindset mastery, which we're going to be looking at in more detail in tomorrow's session, but I wanted to look at optimization mastery right now because it kind of flows quite nicely on from strategy mastery, because we need to have the strategies in place in order to optimize the strategy. So today we're going to be looking at that optimization part. So my biggest ever trade. People always ask me this one, so I finally decided to put it in here. It's a brilliant trade, if I do say so myself. It was a good trade. It was quite a healthy profit margin, shall we say. So this was on a banking stock. So remember, you can use this skill set to trade Forex, crypto, stock, shares, indexes. This was on a banking stock. This, in terms of cash value, was this much. Pretty tasty, right? Not going to complain about that. So 440,000 Rand. And then time spent doing that, which is just under 20,000 pounds. Now this actually blew my mind, because this particular trade, again, I built up to this level. This particular trade, one trade earned me more than my old total annual salary was when I was working in retail. So the job I was working in retail, when I decided to learn how to trade, when I decided to start mastering the skill set of trading that I then eventually left, the salary I was on at that job was less per year than this one trade just made me in one trade. Would you like to be able to do that? My guess is that you would like to be able to do that. So how are you going to get there? How are you going to make it happen? The only way to make it happen is to decide today to start learning how to actually use this skill and then be consistent. It's not going to be easy all the time, but be consistent, follow the process, trust the process, get expert feedback and support, and this can be a reality for you as well. So how long did it take me to actually raise that order? How much of my work and time input did that take? Only took me about 20 minutes to do the analysis, raise my order, and that was it. I then left it to let the market do what it needed to do. So what am I going to do with that money that I've just made? Am I going to reinvest it? Of course I am, but where am I going to reinvest it? Personally, this capital I'm going to be using to purchase another investment property. Why? Because I like to diversify my income streams. I'm happy with the level of my account right now within my trading account. I'm looking to put that money now into my property portfolio and build that portfolio more, generate more passive income from that portfolio too. I like having multiple asset incomes. Everybody should be developing multiple streams of income. I've got multiple streams of income. Property is one of them, trading is one of them, business is one of them as well. So pretty exciting. I want that to happen for all of you as well. I would love you to get to the point in a few years' time where you have one trade which replaces your entire annual income from that one trade. That's pretty cool, right? So this is a different large trade that I had a while ago. Again, I've been doing this for a while. I like to show previous ones. This one was 370,000 Rand. This was on oil, different market. This is commodities, but this is only going to happen for you because it's the result of the right trading knowledge, the right support, mentorship, and the application of compound interest, which is part of what we're going to be talking about today. Now, since I mastered trading, because of what it's allowed me to generate as an income for me and my loved ones, I've been able to live a life that I designed for myself. So I've been able to travel the world to fantastic places I never thought I would go to, and travel there in style rather than just on a budget. I've got to spend more time with my family than I would have done if I was working a full-time job. I've been able to go on holiday with my family as well and go to different places with them. Family is the most important thing to me. I want to be able to spend time with them, and when I have my own kids, spend as much time as possible there too. I managed to buy my own home, which was something in London I wouldn't have been able to achieve if I was on my previous old salary. I've been able to get engaged in paradise, hire a private beach, hire musicians, all of that sort of stuff. It was fantastic. I've been able to teach this same skill set that changed my life to people all over the world, and it's been a real privilege and an honor to do that. It's allowed me to build a community of like-minded, passionate people who want to create wealth, which allows them to spend more time with their family and doing things that they are passionate about. And I've spoken on stages in front of thousands of people, sharing with them my journey, inspiring them and helping them to take steps towards trading success, that they too can live a life that they've designed for themselves. Now, I don't show you any of that stuff to impress you. I show you that stuff to impress upon you that your life is what you choose to make it. Your life is a reflection of the choices you have made and the choices that you haven't made. So what choices are you going to make today or moving forward which will take you towards the life that you say you want, rather than keep you stuck where you are right now? And I know that if you're watching this video, it's because you do want to create a different life than you've currently created for yourself. And the responsibility for that is solely with you. We can, at Star Trading, give you all the tools, all the support and all the resources to start creating that life through trading, but you still have to take responsibility for doing the work. And if you want to take responsibility, you want to do that work, then we are here to support and help you. Just need you to reach out to us and let us know. So it only happened for me because of education, mentorship, commitment, and investing into myself. Like I said in previous videos, I spent over half my annual salary learning how to do this. And knowing why you want to succeed will make your journey so much easier. Knowing why you want to trade and make an income from trading will mean on days where it is hard, days when you're tired, days when you don't want to do the work, just like going to the gym, some days you can't be bothered, but knowing why you're doing it, knowing what life it's going to create for you is so important. So I do encourage you to think about what is the life that you want and how can trading help you get there, because trading will give you more time and more money to enjoy the things you are truly passionate about. And that is why I am passionate about sharing it with other people. So how can you have the same performance as a trader but actually make more money? How can you do that? Is that even possible? If you perform at the same level in your job, are you going to get pay rises? Probably not. It doesn't really work like that, does it? But it does work like that in trading, and it comes down to optimization and a couple of other things too. So Albert Einstein described compound interest as the 8th wonder of the world. I was going to try and count on my fingers there. The 8th wonder of the world. And he said, whoever understands it earns it. Whoever doesn't pays it. And it's very, very true. If you understand compound interest, it is going to be an absolute game changer for you in so many different areas of your life. Now, if you don't know what compound interest is, then just think of it as a snowball rolling down a snowy hill, and as it rolls, it picks up snow. Now, the bigger it is, the quicker it actually grows. And that is the compound effect, because the bigger it is, the more it's picking up on each rotation. And that is what we're doing with compound interest to your bank account, to your finances, and to your money, which is why we get exponential growth, which is also why I tell people to not focus on the short term, but to think longer term with their trading, because this is what will generate exceptional wealth and generational wealth for you and your loved ones. I do not personally know a better method of using compound interest than trading, because you can be anywhere in the world whilst your money is compounding. It requires so little of your time once you do it, and also you can compound at far lower time frames than other forms of investment will allow. Most other types of investment will force you to have to compound on a yearly basis, if they even let you compound on that yearly basis. Now, compound interest should be thought of as interest being given on top of your interest. That is what compound interest is. That is how compound interest works. So let's say you had $1,000 in your account. Now, you may choose to have a dollar account, a pound account, one of those two, or a euro account. It's up to you. Ultimately, what type of currency you're using doesn't make a difference in terms of your trading performance. It's not that important. You just may have a particular preference of which currency you choose to trade in. So if you're in South Africa, you may want to trade in a different currency to Rand. And a lot of the brokers will actually only let you trade in Euro, GBP, or US dollar. And the one we recommend in South Africa is FXCM, and they do tend to recommend US dollar, Euro, or GBP. So if you are in the UK or you're in the US, then I would highly recommend trading in your own currency, or if you are in a European country as well, use your own currency too. So the way compound interest works is, let's say you have $1,000 in your account and you make 10% growth on your account that month. Now, 10% is possible. Again, probably won't happen in your first 3 to 6 months, but after that we can start to see our students returning greater levels than they would do previously. So aiming for between 5% and 10% as quickly as possible. So 10% on a monthly basis is possible. For example, Calvin, one of our South African traders, he made 14%, I believe it was, in his first month trading live with us, which was about 3 or 4 months in. So it totally is possible. So that 10% growth means that you have earned an extra $100 on your account. That $100 stays in your account. You don't take it out, you compound it, meaning you leave it in your account. So in month 2, your account is now worth $1,100. You make 10% again. Look at this. Same performance, like I was saying before, same performance, but higher output, higher profit. So your 10% is now worth as a cash value, not 100, but 110. That 110 stays in your account, meaning your account balance at the end of month 2, the start of month 3, is now 1,210. We make 10% on that, and it grows again, adds into our account. And this is the snowball effect. This is compound interest starting to grow your account, and it gets crazy big the longer that you allow your money to stay in your account and you allow your money to grow. So let's say, if we remember our previous session, let's say you're making 3% per year on your savings in the bank. What would that look like over 12 years? So if we look at the bottom there, we can see what our growth would be at the end of 12 years. Not a lot, is it really? Consider you've been waiting 12 years, inflation is kicking in as well, and that's eroding the value of your money. So if your savings rate is 3%, inflation rate, and by the way, these numbers are correct at the time of checking and they're where I live, so it's my context, 9%, then I'm actually losing 6% every single year, which means the value of my money is dying by 6%. So if we add inflation rate onto this chart as well, onto this slide, then we can see that actually our money has gone down by that amount, which means we're still in a negative position at the end. If we take them away from each other, we're still in a negative position at the end of a 12-year period. So you tell me, would you put your money into an investment if it meant in 12 years' time you would be given back less rather than being given more? Would you do that? Is that a choice you would take? Probably isn't, no, when you put it that way. So why do so many of us leave our money in a bank account thinking that because we're saving, we're doing a good job with our money? You are not doing a good job with your money if your money is sat in savings. You need to be investing it in yourself to grow your knowledge and your ability to make money, investing in yourself to make sure you are adding value to what you can do and what your earning potential is, or investing in education which can teach you how to become the investor that you want and live the lifestyle that you want as well. So you are generating the level of income that you want to create the lifestyle that you want as well. But just relying on savings is never ever going to make you good with money or create for you a lifestyle that you want. Now, what's so exciting about trading is that it allows you to compound not yearly, but monthly, weekly, or even daily, or even trade by trade if you wanted to. So you have such a greater level of ability to use that power of compound interest. Really, really important that you do that. Now, compound interest will actually benefit you in terms of growth, but it also protects you on the downside if you know how to mitigate that risk, which you should do now if you paid attention in the previous session. Now, trader monthly compounding. So if you have £10,000 in your account and you are making 2% on that, what will that result at the end of the 12 months? So 12 months would result in this figure here. So some of you, and feel free to check my numbers, some of you may feel like that's not a lot, but remember, where else are you getting that growth? 2% per month over a 12-month period equates to over 26% annually from less than 30 minutes work a day. Brilliant, fantastic. I do not know somewhere that you're going to get better than that with as low risk as what we do here at Star Trading using the Star Trading method. But we also know that 2% is incredibly low bar. Really, we're aiming for more. So 2%, you can see what the results are there. But if we're aiming for 5% or we're aiming for 10%, what does that then look like over a 12-month period? So if we're trading at 5% per month consistently, compounding, then our account growth will be 80%, which means you've nearly doubled your money in just a 12-month period. If you're making 10%, then you've nearly tripled your money in a 12-month period. Absolutely phenomenal returns, but you have to learn how to do this first, right? You have to make sure you're applying the knowledge that you're learning correctly. And that is where support and mentorship and community come in so invaluably, because we make sure you're applying the skill set correctly and you're able to see other people succeeding and achieving too. Now again, this is just a 12-month period, and I keep saying think long term. So what do these numbers then look like if we extract them out over a longer period of time. And by the way, if your face isn't doing this and your eyes aren't getting wide and you're not getting excited, then I don't know what will. If this isn't good enough for you, I don't know what's going to be good enough for you in terms of return. But if you find something which is lower time commitment, if you find something which is lower risk and it has just as good returns, if not better, then please let me know, because over 9 and a bit years of searching, I have not found anything else which even comes close to this type of return. So if we're looking to the long term, this is what 2%, 5% and 10% looks like with a starting balance of 10,000 and moving up to 1 year, to 3 years, to 5 years and to 10 years. Now these are some pretty crazy numbers, and when I first saw these numbers and then I checked these numbers to make sure they were real, I had one of these 3 responses. I'll let you decide which response it is that I had to this particular set of figures. Now I will add in some reality here as well and say that you need to be aware that you may have an emotional stopping point at certain caps and certain levels of money. For example, some of my students don't want to trade with an account balance larger than £20,000. However, they make 10, 15, 20% per month off of that, and they're very happy with that return. I've got other students who are very happy trading with over £500,000 in their trading account. They also make very, very healthy returns, but they are happy to handle those sums of money. Not everybody is. So you may find as you're growing your account, you find a natural sticking point, or like me, you don't like having an account over a certain amount. And so part of my personal financial strategy and planning is to, when I have an account larger than that, I take that money out and I put it into other forms of assets, such as property. But hopefully by looking at this and seeing these numbers, you can see how it is we can start small, we can grow big, and we can then diversify into things like property, like I have, or whatever it is you want to invest your money into. Or maybe you just want to take the family on an incredible holiday. It is completely up to you if you are designing and creating your life and using trading as the best doorway to create the time and the money to be able to live your life that way. So would these numbers change your life? Would you be happy to be earning those type of numbers? And if it took you 2 years, would it still be worth the journey? If it took you 5 years, would it still be worth the journey to then achieve figures like that? Of course it would. Now, we don't want it to take you that long. We, like I said, want to get you starting to trade live within 2 to 3 months. Some people do manage to do it sooner than that, but we want to really make sure you're safe, that you've mastered the skill and you are applying it correctly. It's really, really important to us that we enable you to do that. Now remember, this was one of my larger trades, not the largest, but one of the larger trades, and it only happened for me, like I said, because I had the right trading knowledge. I was applying that knowledge correctly. I was having feedback about how I was applying that knowledge with support and with mentorship, and I was applying compound interest to grow my account, which is why I'm a big believer that if you can avoid taking money out of your account, then do so. It's why I love the fact that people in our community have jobs or they're running businesses that make them enough money to live off on a monthly basis, and then their trading is growing, and that's what's allowing them to rocket fuel their account, because they're enabling themselves to be using compound interest rather than using that capital to live off of. Really, really important that you do that. So the moment I realized this was for me is when I understood the power of compound interest. I literally took the money that I had, I put it into the compound interest calculator, which I give to all of our students, and I looked at what my future could hold, even if I was looking at a low bar return of just 2% per month. And because of that, and I realized how much I could add in on a monthly basis instead of putting money into my savings account or into bar, actually spending too much money drinking or spending too much money on Amazon just buying stuff I didn't need. When I realized that if I kept hold of that money and I could put it into my trading account and I could make X% every single month consistently, what that would do for me, what lifestyle that would create for me, that is when I realized this was a no-brainer decision. I had to learn how to trade. And my hope is that you're sitting there as well, or standing there, or you're walking, listening to this and watching this, and you're thinking, this is a no-brainer decision. Why would I not do this? I have to create more time and more money to live the life that I say that I want. So then how are you going to do it? The best answer to that question I could find and I could discover was trading. Yes, it meant I had to learn a new skill. Yes, it meant I had to humble myself and learn from somebody else. And yes, it meant I had to choose to be consistent on a daily basis and create new habits to make it a reality, but it has 100% been worth that process. So I've kind of given the game away here in a couple of different ways in terms of how it is we rocket fuel our account, but I just want to make it really, really clear for you. So there's two ways that we rocket fuel our account. Number one is we use compound interest. So we don't take money out of our trading account, we leave it in. That's number one. So we leave the money that we're making in our trading account so we can double up on the profit that we're making there. Number two is we add in additional income from our employment, from our business, or beg, borrow, steal. Well, not steal, I don't advocate that, to get money into our trading account. That's another way that we can rocket fuel the account. So like I said, for me, I was working in retail. What I would do is I would, instead of putting money at the end of each month that I had left over, and it varied each month, of course, that's natural, but at the end of each month, I would add in additional capital, sometimes just 50, sometimes 100, sometimes 500, into my trading account to help it grow faster, because I knew the interest I was making on even those small amounts of money was going to build over time and create a really, really healthy trading account I could then use to consider myself to be financially free. So that's what I did. So I rocket fueled by, well, number one, you have to know how to do it. You have to know the skill set. So I learned how to trade. Then I left the money in the account and I compounded it. And then number three, I added in additional capital to that account as well. So I knew it was going to be working harder for me in my own trading account rather than just sat in a savings account where it was rotting. So that's why it became a no-brainer decision for me. That is why I was crazy enough to invest in myself, into a process and into a system, and take half my annual salary out on credit cards and personal loans in order to make this a reality for me. And what I've done as a result of that, by compounding, by having those large trading wins, is I've now been able to diversify into different asset classes like property, which has allowed me to create not just wealth for me, but wealth that I can pass on to my kids when I have them. So that's generational wealth that's now been created because of one decision I made back in a very, very wet October, where I said, yes, this is for me. I'm going to learn how to trade. It all came from that one decision. It all came from learning how to trade. It all came from getting the right support and the right mentorship.